today on Rappler. Vice President Sara Duterte refuses to explain the allegedly fabricated receipts uncovered by lawmakers. Sara Duterte says she has no plans to hide or flee if the NBI orders her arrest. The United Nations General Assembly demands an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Luigi Mangione, who is charged with murder, receives thousands of dollars in online donations and messages of support. And Salle's Kevin Quiambao dominates Game 2 against UP in the UAAP Season 87 finals, forcing a do-or-die clash.
Naghahanap ka pa rin? Shop na sa Lazada para mas sulit tipid araw-araw.
Vice President Sara Duterte refuses to explain what lawmakers describe as fabricated receipts related to her use of confidential funds.
I will not give an explanation because it will entail that I explain intelligence operations which will compromise offices who do intelligence operations.
On Monday, December 9, House Good Government Panel Chief Joel Chua said 405 out of the 677 signatories in the Education Department's acknowledgement receipts were non-existent. He cited a report from the Philippine Statistics Authority. Duterte also refused to answer whether Mary Grace Piatos and other conspicuous names on receipts were pseudonyms related to confidential expenses. The vice president repeatedly said she would not answer questions from lawmakers on her use of confidential funds. She said the Commission on Audit is the proper agency to inquire about the matter. She urges lawmakers to also investigate the Office of the President's use of confidential funds rather than, quote, singling out the offices she led. Duterte resigned as Education Secretary in June. Vice President Sara Duterte tells reporters what she plans to do in case she is ordered arrested.
I do not plan to leave the country, or I do not plan to hide if there will be a warrant of arrest, mainly because my children are here.
This after she snubbed a summons to a probe by the National Bureau of Investigation, which had been rescheduled to accommodate her. The NBI is probing threats Duterte made against the President, the First Lady, and the House Speaker. Duterte says her lawyer sent a letter to the NBI vehemently denying making any statements that can be classified as a grave threat or as a violation of the anti-terrorism law. Duterte also says she does not regret what she said about her political opponents.
Buti na yung alam nila, ma'am, na pag namatay ako, I will not die in vain.
Meantime, Duterte says she is looking into forming her own private security team should the military withdraw her detail. How would she fund this private team? Duterte says her husband Man Scarpio would, quote, make arrangements. The UN General Assembly votes overwhelmingly to demand an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza and to immediately release all hostages. The vote cast on Wednesday, December 11 is more urgent in tone than the UNGA's earlier ceasefire resolutions. 158 out of the 193 member states voted in favor of the move. 9 voted against it, including Israel and the US, while 13 abstained. UNGA resolutions are not binding, but carry political weight, reflecting a global view on the war. The UNGA also adopted a resolution in support of the UN Palestinian Relief Agency, UNRWA. Israel recently passed a law banning UNRWA operations in Israel, beginning late January. The UN resolution demands Israel to respect UNRWA's mandate and enable its operations to proceed without impediment or restriction. Israel launched its war on Gaza after Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack, which killed 1,200 people. Gaza's health ministry says the war has killed more than 44,000 people over the last 13 months. Luigi Mangione, who was charged with the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, receives thousands of dollars in online donations and a flurry of messages of support. There's been a broad condemnation of the crime he's been accused of. However, Reuters reports the photogenic 26-year-old Ivy League graduate has become an unsettling mix of folk hero, celebrity, and online crush in certain circles. On the crowdsourced fundraising site Give, Send, Go alone, more than $31,000 in donations have poured in for Mangione as of Wednesday. The majority of messages on the site express many Americans' deep frustration with the U.S. healthcare system. Other websites are selling Mangione merchandise such as hats, t-shirts printed with his face, and messages of support. Former FBI agent David Shapiro says it's hard to underestimate people's rage towards their insurance providers. Shapiro says the response to Mangione is unprecedented and not impossible considering it's easy to express anonymous support online. On TikTok, some users have made comments like class consciousness is rising, and some have called Mangione an absolute legend. LaSalle's Kevin Quiambao dominates the game against UP in the UAAP Season 87 Men's Basketball Finals Game 2 to force a do-or-die game. On Wednesday night, December 11, Quiambao scored 22 points, including 11 in LaSalle's fourth-quarter comeback bid. Quiambao's performance left LaSalle's coach Topex Robinson speechless, but grateful for the team's resilience and determination. Despite being down 71-63 in the fourth quarter, Quiambao and his teammate Mike Phillips managed to carry the Archers through to a Game 3 decider. Robinson says he is grateful that he still has Quiambao on the team. Quiambao is set to make a career decision and is likely headed for the Korean Basketball League to turn pro. Meanwhile, UP's Francis Lopez says he has no excuse for the 4 straight missed free throws and a pair of turnovers down the stretch. He says all that's left now is to move on and focus on Game 3. And that's today's wrap. I'm Kara Oliver. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.